CYBATHLON, where skillful pilots team up with new technologies to accomplish stunning things.
CYBATHLON macht glücklich.
우리가 포기할 수 있는 일들을 가능하게 만들어줍니다.
Wir treten mit und gegeneinander an.
Teams from countries around the globe fight to win the competition. Which team will present the smartest technology? And who has the best pilot? CYBATHLON competitions include 8 disciplines. They all call for skill, precision, concentration, and endurance. Electric wheelchairs climb stairs. Prosthetic arms feel out and pick up hidden objects. And exoskeletons let paralyzed legs walk again. Intelligent assistive technologies help simplify the everyday lives of people with disabilities. Technology, competitive spirit, emotions, CYBATHLON 2024 will be all of that. Today's CYBATHLON Challenge is the first competition on the road to CYBATHLON 2024. Challenges will be staged twice a year. Teams can use them to prepare CYBATHLON 2024 in the best possible way, step by step. Today's CYBATHLON Challenge discipline, the arm prosthesis race. Teams will have to complete the following task both correctly and as quickly as possible. A box contains 8 different everyday objects. Competitors have to position all objects correctly in their respective spots. Athletes must use their prosthetic arms to do this. The fastest athlete to position all objects as required wins. Each team has 2 attempts. The better attempt counts. As many as 5 teams compete in this particular challenge. There's France's team Smart Arms sent by the Sorbonne University in Paris. Their pilot Christophe Huchet is a multiple national para-swimming champion in the men's 100-meter breaststroke. He was already a team member in 2020 when Smart Arm placed 10th. Sam is particularly successful with prosthetic arms that are attached above the elbow. This team is competing in Paris. Team E-Opera of the Chalmers University of Technology in Sweden is one of their opponents. Pilot Magnus Niska placed 3rd with his team both in 2016 and in 2020. With the help of electrodes attached to his elbow, Magnus sends signals to the prosthesis to control it. At the same time, he receives sensory feedback from the prosthesis. He and his team compete at the Zurich hub. It will be a CYBATHLON debut for the Kala Bionics team of the Indonesian Bandung Institute of Technology. Both the team and its pilot Yayat Supriyatna compete in Bandung, Indonesia for the first time. Yayat, a passionate drummer, has been a team member for 3 years. His Penangan prosthetic arm has been developed in a way that makes it affordable for as many as possible. Its functional principle is based on the Whippletree mechanism. The second Swedish team, Team X-Opera, is sent by the Chalmers University of Technology as well. Their pilot is Tony Forsberg. He competed in the 2020 CYBATHLON, placing 7th with his team. His prosthesis is connected to the bone. Implanted electrodes allow him to control his prosthesis via nerves, so that his prosthesis also provides him with sensory feedback. He and his team are competing at the Zurich hub. Finally, there's the Polytechnical University of Catalonia's team Arm2U from Barcelona. Pilot Kyle Briggs is a very athletic competitor and is excited about his very first CYBATHLON competition. He and his team work with a myoelectric prosthesis. The system functions via muscle contractions in the arm stump and are registered by electrodes. The device was developed and produced using 3D printing technology. The team competes at the Zurich hub as well.
Hello and welcome to CYBATHLON Challenges for 2022. I'm Nick Fellows and this, of course, is Roland Sigrist, our expert analyst. We're just a few moments away from the arm prostheses race, where we'll go as far away as Indonesia to Paris and, of course, to the ETH here in Zurich. Before we get going, Roland, tell us a little bit more about the challenges concept that puts us on the road to CYBATHLON 2024.
Exactly. The CYBATHLON challenges are the kickoff on our way to 2024. We do this way together with the teams. Today, it's the first opportunity for the ARM teams to show how good they can solve one of the tasks we have in the new rules book. So we developed a new rules book for this period to challenge the teams even more with daily life tasks. We selected one, and we will see today how good the first teams that are challenged can solve this task.
And of course, with 5 teams in action, it promises to be a very closely contested competition. Now, we are at the mothership, the home base of that CYBATHLON here at the ETH of Zurich. It's a magnificent facility looking down on the city of Zurich, but it is here inside the competition halls, not only here in Zurich, but in Paris and in Indonesia, where our teams are getting ready. And we have a really good challenge. They'll have 2 attempts, or we'll call them 2 heats, but we really are going to test not only the smart tech, but also the pilots themselves in this next race.
Yes, so it's a combination between the skill and the device. Of course, the device has to work reliably, and we will see very different approaches how the teams solve this task of daily life, cleaning up a table.
So there we are in Zurich, Tony Forsberg from the Ex-Opera team. So we're in France, we're in Switzerland, we are going as far away as Indonesia to see the new team, Carla Bionics. Carla Bionics, of course, who are looking to make a pretty impressive debut here today. That's the pilot, Yayat, there preparing. Now, the Arm to You from Barcelona in Spain are also competing here at the ETH of Zurich. Confident, and a debutant, Kyle Briggs, there is the pilot, one to watch. Now in Paris at the Sorbonne University, waiting patiently is Christophe Huchet for the Smart Arm team, an experienced pilot. We saw Christophe for the first time in action at our 2020 global edition, the second CYBATHLON. And E-Opera also competing, and there is Magnus Nischke, who's placed twice third in our 2 global editions to date. E-Opera, one of the big favourites to watch carefully in this competition. Now we are getting ready for the first starter. Tony Forsberg will be the first man to start. Just a quick reminder and a quick update on the rules and regulations, Roland. We know there is 2 heats. The best time for those 2 heats is carried forward against the 5 teams. 8 objects need to be put into position. With 1 minute to start, just give us a quick update on the rules that we need to follow and watch carefully.
Yes, you will see the blue objects in the box afterwards, and they are blue because this means they can only be manipulated by the arm prosthesis, so it's not allowed to use the other arm, and this makes it especially difficult to solve the task, but it also pushes the development of the prosthesis because the challenge is on the control mechanism, on the friction of the prosthesis. So blue objects can only be touched by the prosthesis.
So Tony Forsberg now waiting for his countdown to begin his challenge in the first of the 5 teams from the Chalmers University of Technology. And of course,
or start the countdown.
Here we go, ready to start that countdown. 15 seconds, 14, 13, counting on the clock. One last check of the prosthesis arm for Tony Forsberg. We're at 5 seconds. Remember, 8 objects need to be picked up from one table and put in the correct place in another. And away we go. Very quick start. Look at the clock. That will be the key. There is a 3-minute time limit on this. Interesting tactic to start with as he takes hold of the plastic box, turns everything upside down. Now, where we need to be very careful there is that there are marble, a singular marble, that can roll away. It looks like Forsberg, his first attack. Now, the marble is in the key ring once again, which is a little bit of luck for Tony Forsberg, but he chooses the credit card into position as if he were using an ATM machine back at home. I like the early speed, Roland, and this is a very explosive start from Tony Forsberg.
It looks pretty easy for him. He puts the objects on the edge of the table to grasp them correctly and brings them very reliably to the boxes.
Tell us a little bit more about the arm here, actually attached to the bone of the Swedish pilot.
Exactly, this is very special. So the nerves of Tony are directly connected with the prosthesis, with the implanted interface, so he can control the prosthesis directly by activating his nerves, but he can also feel what the prosthesis is doing, so he receives also feedback, which helps him to have a good representation of the arm into his body.
3 out of the 8 are already in position. Look at the clock, 1:25, 1:26 and counting. This is what we call is the computer USB. That also has to be placed into what we see as a wooden here, but what would be in real life is computer. Good speed here from Tony Forsberg. 1:43 on the clock and continue to count. Now, this is the Lego brick that for many has proved the most difficult, Roland. Tell us why.
Yes, they have to push the brick on the target. Almost missed the target, but he can still manipulate it. So if the object would fall on the floor, it's a fail, but it's still on the table. So he has some skill also to turn the bricks. Now he has to push the object, the Lego brick, on the other one. So it's a combination of precision and force, and then let the Lego stone go without pushing it again down. Letting go is not so easy as well.
Oh, and you can clearly see the difficulty that you're describing. He's got it in position. And that looks to be good enough, is the word from the race referee. Now the pen, keyring and marble still sitting on the table. The clock is going against Tony Forsberg here now. Remember, there's a 3-minute time. Keyring is usually up pretty quick. An easy place onto a hook. Oh, and Tony now is in trouble. Forsberg has got the clock going against him. It's over. Oh, what a shame for the ex-Opera team and Tony Forsberg. It's task failure. And it just slipped away with 2-3 attempts at that Lego brick. Oh, so close. Tony Forsberg will now wait and look to his second heat and second approach. I like the start here, Roland. Little bit of luck again with that marble staying in the keyring. Looked to be right on track in the early part of the challenge. It all went horribly wrong with the Lego.
Yes, we had the chance to observe him also in the training, and I think he improved since then. So he was very close to manage it in time. I think in the second race he has the chance to do all the objects. Looking forward to see him also to manipulate the marble.
Yeah, no question. Tony Forsberg will look to his second heat to try and get ex-Opera into the race. Now, all the way to Indonesia to meet Carla Bionics. It's a spin-off company from the Bandung Institute of Technology in Indonesia. Now, making their debut in the CYBATHLON. It's a long way, but we've still got good pictures here. The pilot for the team is Yayat Supriyatna, a passionate rock drummer, but also very, very ambitious in his first ever CYBATHLON challenge. 10 seconds on the clock and counting to see Carla Bionics move those 8 blue pieces, and away they go. He too decides to tip the box on its side, not emptying everything out. Now, this is marble first, is it? That's what it's looking like here. Just a slight breakup in the pictures, but definitely he's gone for the marble. He's got a good grip. Many people describe this as one of the most difficult of the 8 pieces. Oh, he's dropped the marble. Now, if it fell off the table and onto the floor, that would be a task failure. But he still just makes an adjustment to the arm and gets that marble down, still, steady, and in position, but it's cost him 50 seconds. Now, Roland, tell us a little bit about this arm. It looks truly bionic from the outside, but is perhaps one of the most basic on the inside.
Yes, he uses a body-powered prosthesis, so with the residual movement that he has in the arm and in the shoulders, he can control his fingers, the fingers of the prosthesis. So it's the body-powered system. We have other systems, robotic systems that have motors in it. This one has no motor, but still he's very skilled, and he has a lot of precise movements that he can do that we see here. He trains a lot with the prosthesis, and it looks bionic because it's also 3D printed objects, parts that he has. And as we see here, it's pretty convenient. It's pretty convenient to use it.
Yeah, well, he's a rock drummer when he's away from training for CYBATHLON, and I think he's got 1 or 2 of his colleagues drumming away behind him, just making sure that everything is in position. I think he's at halfway, but 1:55. He's coming up to 2 minutes now. He needs to pick up the pace here, Yayat, and make sure that he doesn't get beaten by the clock, which was the story for ex-Opera. And Tony Forsberg, here he goes with the pen here, takes it to the edge of the table to make sure that he can get a clean grip on it. He's got it in now, goes for position, 2:15 on the clock. This 3-minute timer really is proving very difficult, still got a few to go. What do we still see on the table? 3 pieces, coin, key, and the USB stick. Can he do all of that within 30 seconds? Takes a grip of the key. 2 left to go. Yaya would be so happy to record a time. Oh, the clock is going against him. 2:54, 2:55, he takes a hold of the USB stick, but you can see on the left, the coin is still there, and it's a task fail. Unable to get all of the 8 pieces into position within the 3-minute time mark. Well, I have to say, that was a brave performance from Carla Bionics. They will not be too disappointed with that at all. They get closer and closer with every attempt. But that 3-minute timer again puts pay to Carla Bionics, putting a time on the board. And again, that shaky start and trouble with the Lego brick put pay to Yayat's chances of recording a time. Now let's go back to Zurich, the university here, ETH of Zurich, and the Spanish team of On To You, heralding from the Polytechnic University of in Barcelona.
I'll start the countdown.
Now, looking very calm and ready to go is the pilot here, Kyle Briggs, making his debut, like Carla Bionics, to CYBATHLON competition. 5 seconds and counting. 2, and away goes Kyle Briggs. Now, it's all about speed, I would say, Roland, in the early stages. And I like this gentleman's confidence. He has gone for the most difficult piece of the 8. It's the marble. He's got to find the balance. And he's got the marble out of the way and into position, standing still on that block. He just wants to move it a little more. Oh, it won't stay still. I like the way he's switched and using the side of the prosthesis, but it's taken him 30 seconds, Roland.
Yes, but it took Yaya 50 seconds, so he's a bit in front here. He has still some time to solve the other 7 subtasks.
Now, he's clearly taking the most difficult too, because the Lego brick has caused quite a few problems as well. He's got it into position. And away it goes. Yes, referee or the judge is happy with that. Now 6 to go, and I think it's fair to say With the marble out of the way, he can now flip that box over and not have to worry too much about one of the pieces dropping, the blue pieces, remember, dropping onto the floor. Little adjustment of the arm and the mode setting flips everything out. Now we need speed. 120 on the board with, as you can see, pen, USB, coin, key ring, key, and the credit card. USB is next. He's definitely taking the toughest pieces in reverse order, hoping for a fast finish. I would imagine is the arm to you and Kyle Briggs, their pilot tactic.
So Kyle has to move a lot himself to be able to grasp the object, because the prosthesis has a limited number of degrees of freedom, a limited number of access, but he does it very well. He compensates for the movement, and now he pushes all the objects to the edge, which makes it easier for him to grip. Sometimes gripping is even easier than letting the objects go again, because they still stick on the object.
Oh no! And that's a task fail. Drops the credit card on the floor. And that is a real shame for the Arm to You team, because they've done the most difficult pieces of the 8, got the marble and the Lego brick into position out of the way, but the credit card gets dropped onto the floor, which is a task failure. Here's the slow-mo, Roland.
Yes, so this prosthesis is controlled by electrodes in the prosthesis, so they sense the residual muscle activity. And if you move your arm, it could be that you also activate a muscle in your residual arm that you don't want to activate. And then the prosthesis opens, the finger opens, and then the object can drop.
Let's go to Paris, University of Sorbonne and the Smart Arm team. Christophe Houchet, the pilot for Smart Arm. We saw him for the first time at CYBATHLON 2020 Global Edition, and here we see him in 2022 in CYBATHLON Challenge now. Now we're waiting for that countdown. It's normally, there it is, the 15 seconds countdown is up and on the board. Christophe is ready, waiting patiently. Here we go. We're seconds at 5, 4, 3. This is possibly one of the big pre-race favourites about to get going. And here he goes, the Frenchman now out on course. A fantastic swimmer, a national swimming champion. He too has gone nice and early, using a little hook, no, using a very, very sensitive mode to pick up that marble, put it in position very quickly. 22 seconds on the board, and the most difficult piece of the 8 is in position. Again, the second of the difficult pieces, the Lego brick, and that too is in position. Very delicate, accurate work from Christophe, but this is very fast indeed, Roland.
Yeah, it is very fast, and they added a little hook to the finger, to the index finger, to move these two objects, and this turned out to be a very good solution. Very simple, very quick, and this is, of course, allowed to go for simple solutions.
A simple solution, smart technology, keyring is quick. He's only got a minute on the board. This is looking very fast indeed, and looking to become the first team to make the 3-minute time mark. And what he's doing here, he's lining them all up again for a very fast finish. You see credit card in position, then the USB is in position, now the key has been put in position. This has been thought through with an attention to detail, and the tactic is looking very fast indeed, Roland.
Yes, they have very clear tactics. You saw it in the beginning, very fast and a very smart solution, and as well here. They don't want to lose time. I think he will use now the same grip for the 4 objects, which does him allow not to switch the modes, and this can be a really good idea.
Oh, this is really skillful. Precision, and look at the concentration on the face of the Frenchman. He has done this many times before, rehearsed it for hours upon hours, and it's all coming together very nicely. He's just gone past 2 minutes against the clock. He's got to keep it under 3 minutes, but this may well be the case. Credit card is the next piece to go into position. Look at Christophe Houchet raising his game, picking up his pace to try and beat that 3-minute time barrier. 2 to go for the Frenchman. The clock is at 2 minutes 20. Now with the key, he's got it in grip, he's got it in position, puts it into the lock. And one more to go, and he's going to do it here. 2:30, 30 seconds left on the clock, as one piece left to go. It is the computer USB stick. Christophe Houchet goes to the block, bends onto his knees, puts it in position. He needs to go for the finish line. 2:45 is there. He lets it go and it stops. 2:45. Sensational from Christophe Houchet. That is our first time from 4 teams, and that is a great piece of work, and the tactic really paying dividends, Roland.
Yes, and he also demonstrated that he uses his prosthesis exactly when needed, with the the grip that is needed. So he had maybe 3 or 4 different grips, and also the hook included. So you see here he used kind of hard to see how he moves the marble here. And then he had the precision grip and also pinch grip. So he showed that his prosthesis is able to cope with different situations. And this is what we want to see.
Oh yeah, huge round of applause from the team over in Paris, and deservedly so. That is our first under 3 minute. Our first time is on the board. Smart arm from the Sorbonne University in Paris, France. Go to the top of the table with 1 team left to go in heat 1 of 2, and it is E-Opera, the second of the Swedish teams, with one of the most experienced pilots in the competition. On screen, Magnus Niska, twice third in the prosthesis arm race in the CYBATHLON 2016 Global Edition, and third in CYBATHLON 2020 Global Edition. If anybody has the experience and skill to beat that time of 2:45, it is Magnus. Look at the clock countdown to the right of your screens. It is at 8:07. Magnus is ready. Now, as with the ex-Opera team, this prosthesis is attached to the bone. And away we go. Niska is out on course. Turning the box, he's got to watch that marble very carefully. A quick flip, completely over. Smart move, good start, and only 10 seconds on the clock. Niska takes the credit card as his first of the 8 pieces, Roland.
Yes, he's very skilled. And he uses the same technology as Tony from the ex-Opera team, but he has another end effector, so his end effector looks more like a natural hand, but still very, very skilled.
Just over 30 seconds on the board. He's got 3 out of the 8 already in position. Magnus Niska drawing on his experience here. Very calm, very cool. First small mistake. And he's got to find a re-grip of the coin that didn't quite go through. Now he's got it into position, and he comes back for more. Still under a minute on the clock, taking himself to the halfway point, taking a grasp of the key.
I think his hand and his skill does make the movements look very natural. I'm very impressed to see that. Easy opening, easy closing.
USB stick, 1:12 on the clock. 3 items to go. Now, it's a different tactic here because Niska has left the most difficult of the 8 apparatus till last. He's still got that Lego brick, he's still got that marble, which has been tough for most. It's the pen next on the list. But again, a very quick and efficient performance. 1:36. Oh, this is getting very close indeed. Down to the Lego brick and marble. 2:45 is the target time.
The Lego brick is very lightweight, so it's really hard to it's very easy for him, but it's hard to present.
That's the fastest of the Lego brick. Now the marble. This is the make or break. He's got 45 seconds, the right side of the clock, to make this work now, and this could be the new leader. E-Opera with Magnus Niska looks to settle, put that marble down. 2:08. We're at 2:10, 2:40. Oh no! Task failed. Can you believe that? He dropped the marble onto the floor. TF means task failure. And Niska, who was so easily going into first position, records no time at all, and he'll need to find that speed and tempo in his second heat. Oh, that marble gets them again. Let's have a look in slow motion, Roland. Talk us through it.
Yes, I'm very impressed by his natural movements. He moves around these objects, grabs them, let them go, but now we see that there was too much force on the grip, so then the marble flipped away.
Well, it puts a smile on everybody's face to see the two opera teams struggle with one or two. Very, very exciting. But after the first heat, each and every team, remember, will have a second heat. It is the Smart Arm team competing in the Sorbonne University in Paris that are the only one of the 5 teams to record a time. And the target time is set for the Heat 2 at 2 minutes 45 seconds. The full story of Heat 2 will be coming up after this quick break. Welcome back to CYBATHLON Challenge 2022. We're at the halfway point of the arm prostheses race, and what a race this is turning out to be. So close for one or two of the teams, but Smart Arm and, of course, Christophe Houchet, their pilot, are the team to chase, the team to beat, and our current leaders. Now, Roland Sigrist is joining myself, Nick Fellows, in the commentary box for part 2 of this race. One or two of the teams have come very close indeed to beating Houchet, but none of them, bar the Smart Arm team, have recorded a time yet. It's going to be a bit of a pressure moment for most of the teams as we go into the second half.
Yes, I think so too, but I think that the Smart Arm team cannot be too sure, because we have seen that performances are very well by the other teams, so they can beat the clock still. So I'm looking forward to see what the Smart Arm team is doing to beat themselves to set another time.
Let's have a quick look at all of the teams. That's ex-Opera with Tony Forsberg. He will be up first and, of course, competing. Then we've got Arm to You, the Spanish team with Kyle Briggs. So close, Magnus Nixka with the second of the Opera teams here. He was about to easily beat. He actually had a 30-second advantage before dropping that marble. And we'll go over again to Indonesia to see Carla Bionics. And this is the team that everybody is out to beat. It's a Smart Arm team from the Sorbonne University in Paris. Christophe Houchet, they're ready to try and improve on his time. And I think it's a very valid point that we've heard from Roland, that the Smart Arm team know that there are others out there who have their speed. They just need to make sure that they don't pick up a task failure. So ex-Opera will be the first of the teams in Heat 2. Tony Forsberg there. Tony, again, a task failure. Tony struggled with the time, and he's got to keep all of those 8 objects, the blue objects, into their position in under 3 minutes. Tony looks confident. The ex-Opera and the E-Opera teams, they're fast, but as we saw with Magnus Niska, it has to be clean and error-free if you're to put that time on the board.
Yes, exactly. One advantage of these prostheses and the connection of the nerves directly with the prosthesis is that it's very reliable. So you can get the signal from the nerve, send it to the prosthesis directly, and you do not measure it on the skin as in other systems. So you need to do an operation to connect it, but then it's very reliable. We saw that, but we also saw that it's not easy for them neither. They Magnus put a bit too much force on the marble, and then the task was failed.
Well, it's very exciting. We're just moments away from the start of Heat 2. Everybody's chasing a target time, and that's what will decide the winners of this arm prosthesis race of 2 minutes 45 seconds. Smart Arm team over in Paris, France, the only team to get all of the 8 objects into their correct position under the 3-minute target time. So here we go. Let's start with the second heat. Tony Forsberg is the pilot for the ex-Opera team from the Chalmers University of Technology in Sweden. And, well, Tony knows what he's got to do here.
I'll start the countdown.
We first saw Forsberg in action in the CYBATHLON 2020 Global Edition. So good to have him here at the 2022 Challenge. It's got to be clean, it's got to be fast. 2, 1, go. Tony Forsberg is away. First of the races in heat number 2. Task failure is the result in heat 1. A quick flip upside down. He's got to be careful that the marble does not hit the floor. And it's good. Now he sorts through everything there, and it looks like he's going for the USB stick first.
The USB is in the back.
Well, we've seen pilots get their first 2 in within 30 seconds, and he's at 40 seconds, and he's only on his second piece here. So, without being too hard and adding to the pressure that's already sitting on the shoulders of Tony Forsberg, he needs to pick up the pace from a timing perspective. But as we can see now, Roland, starting to find a little bit of rhythm, a little bit of flow and tempo here.
Yes, he prepares his objects very well, so it's then easier for him to move them. And we also see that his gripper looks rather simple, opening and closing. Maybe this is also the need he has, so we will talk to the team and say what he needs to move best. It's a teamwork, and also the tactics is teamwork. They will discuss with each other how to solve the task.
Now this has proved to be one of the most difficult pieces, the Lego brick. The lifting, no problem at all, but getting it into position and pressing down. So, as we all know, exactly how the Lego bricks click together. This is where it went wrong for Tony Forsberg in the first heat, and he's struggling again, Roland.
Yes, as long as the brick does not touch the floor, it's okay, so he can re-grip it, but it's very, very tricky for him.
Oh, and it's just, oh, so lucky. If that had hit the floor, it would have been task failure. 2 minutes. But this Lego brick, as it did in the first heat for Tony, just taking up a little too much time. How many do we count still on the board? There are still 4. He's just hit the halfway point, goes to the pen. This is normally a quick maneuver, but it's already at 2:16, 17. Oh, now his great friend and teammate Magnus Niska is watching on. He's going for the key next, credit card. He's got 30 seconds left to achieve 3 tasks here. The key seems to have got attached to one of the hooks. That's not what Tony was hoping for. We're at 2:36, 2:37. Still 3 pieces to be moved from one table to the other. The key goes into its lock. 2 to go, but with only 10 seconds left on the board, Tony is struggling again against the clock. He picks up the marble easily and quickly. 5 seconds left on the clock. Marble looks to get into position. It must be still and calm there. It doesn't want to. He's got to stop it. And it's gone. Beaten by the clock in both Heat 1 and Heat 2. Brave performance from Tony Forsberg. But it's that Lego brick that just stole so much of that time and really took the pace out of the performance from Tony. Good, brave performance. Started well, but the Lego brick really was the Achilles heel.
Yes, and what do you see here? That when the box is flipped, the objects just lay there in a arbitrary position, and this is something we added to the competition. So you don't know how to grasp them beforehand. So you have to adapt, and your prosthesis has to cope with that.
Let's go to the Bandung Institute of Technology in Indonesia. It's a long way away, so our apologies for the slight difference in quality of picture, but Yayat Supriyatna is ready. He got beaten by the clock so close. He missed it by a matter of seconds on his first heat. We believe that Carla Bionics can make that 3-minute mark with the 8 blue pieces that need to be moved from a box on one table to their individual positions on another. Watch that clock. Now, away we go. Carla Bionics making their debut, turns the box on its side rather than upside down. It kicks the Lego brick out first, and he wants it upside down, stops the marble just in time. Looks like he's going to have to go to the marble first because it's rolling around on the table. 20 seconds, 22 seconds, 25 seconds. Marble is in position. Good start. Now, should be able to pick up speed now. Empties the rest of the box. Credit card slid along. And that looks to be the key ring that is the second of the 8 pieces to be hooked into position. Good. Now he's finding speed. Now he's finding good pace. This could be under 3 minutes, Roland.
Yes, and it's the only body-powered prosthesis that we see today in the competition. And if this body-powered prosthesis is developed smartly, he can solve this task rather easy, and he's skilled, so this combination helps him to perform well.
It looks bionic, but it's a cable prosthesis that is operated by the other arm, and of course he's a very dexterous pilot is Yaya. He's a drummer, a rock drummer, so he knows how to coordinate with both arms, and it's the pen that he's gone for next. Big discussion from the French team. They're looking a little worried in the right of your screens because the Indonesian pilot is at 135. Pen is in position. Now, back to the table. A little bit of a drop out of the pictures. Our apologies, but we're staying with it here. 145 is on the clock. Lego brick, taking him to the halfway point. And the clock is not far off it either. This is good. 3-minute mark is well within Yayat's capability here. The key is next to go into the lock. We'll wrap it up with coin and the USB stick. Gets a good purchase, gets a good grip on that key. Into the lock. Two pieces left to go, and 2 minutes 20 are on the clock. USB stick, as if you were in a real-life activity, putting this into your laptop or computer back at home. 2:37, he's getting closer and closer. He's just 5 seconds off the pace of the French leaders with just the coin to go. Last coin, 3 minutes has got to be the target. There's 10 seconds left on the clock. Drops that coin into position. And Carla Bionics have recorded a time. Great for the debutantes in CYBATHLON. Carla Bionics are on the clock. 2 minutes 54. The pilots, Yaya, they're absolutely delighted. And well done to the team from Indonesia. That is exceptional. A lot of pressure. He's done it. Carla Bionics into second position. Not quite quicker than Christophe Huchet and the Smart Arm team. But as the newcomers to CYBATHLON, that's a great performance, Ronan.
That's a great performance. And you see how you need to adapt the prosthesis to the end user, to the pilot. And if you do that nicely, the control of the prosthesis gets easy. So iterations are needed and solve the problems together. So this was demonstrated in the last race.
Carl Briggs from the Arm to You team. A university team founded in 2018, based in Barcelona, currently located at a campus of the Polytechnical University of Catalonia. Now, Kyle, again, is a newcomer to CYBATHLON. This is his road to 2024. Another pilot that came so close. There's the get-go. Now, this is interesting. Going straight by the look of it for the marble. This has proved the trickiest of all, but he's got to the position of the marble in under 10 seconds. Got to get it steadied. Oh, it doesn't want to stay. Now, he's got to keep it off the floor. And that marble is rolling away. It's a bad start. Kyle has opted to leave the marble. That's not the start that Briggs was hoping for. Now he's going to flip the box by the look of things. Well, could this be experience? Lack of getting the better of Kyle Briggs' performance here. Shows very little emotion in the warm-up. Looked very calm and cool, but nothing's going right at the moment. Can he get that Lego brick away and into position? Nice. Yes, he's off. Where is that marble? Still sitting on the table? And that's within the rules as long as it stays off the floor, Roland.
Yes, it's within the rules. I hope it's still there, but I guess so. Otherwise, the referee would have given a fail.
And when is he going to go back to it? This is the USB stick. He's got to be careful as he's placing one of the other objects into position that it doesn't knock the marble off the table.
Right. Kyle also controls his prosthesis with residual muscles, but the muscle activity is sensed in the upper arm, and then he can open and close his gripper, similar to the E and X Opera team, but with no implanted electrodes. These are surface electrodes that they use to control the prosthesis.
There's that marble tucked behind the box there. Is he going to go for it now? No, he's happy to leave it there. Coin. Watch the clock. It's ticking away. I have to say, it's running away with Kyle Briggs. Once again, the Arm2U team may be beaten by the 3-minute rule here. Oh, he's dropped the coin. Task fail. Good performance from Kyle Briggs. I think he got a little unsettled, lost his focus with the difficulty with the marble right at the top of the challenge. Immediate feedback to the rest of the Arm2U team on if it was working, what was right, what he felt. Here's the replay, Roland. Talk us through it.
Yes, he lost the marble, and of course it's very hard to react on rolling objects. You have to be at the right position in the right time, and you have to be really precise to pick it up again. But the rest of the objects were not too hard, but we have seen how he dropped the object. So it's the myoelectric control that he uses, and yeah, the prosthesis opened without his command.
So let's head to the Sorbonne University in Paris and see Heat 2 of the current leaders, Smart Arm. Their pilot is Christophe Houchet, brimming with confidence after recording a very impressive 2 minutes 45 for all 8 pieces in Heat 1. Heat 2, he knows that Magnus Nischke, who will go last for E-Opera, if he can complete the 8 tasks, is faster. Therefore, Houchet will be pushing it, believe you me. Counting down for the start of the French pilot's performance at 9, at 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, and away he goes. Right. Immediately, the marble, which has proved so difficult. If you can get this one out of the way early, then that time could see a serious improvement. Oh, yes. 18 seconds on the clock and the marble is done and dusted. Lego brick. And once he's got that Lego brick in position, I think Christophe will flip the container box on the other table. No problem at all. This is even faster than the first run. Continues to pick out of the box by the look of it. No, here's the tip. And very gently make sure that all of the remaining 6 pieces are on the table. This is exactly the pattern that he followed on his first heat. Now he goes for the ring. Just off a minute on the clock. This is looking good, Roland.
It's looking good, and you see how good he can cope with different objects. We have now here 1 task out of 10 tasks of the rules book. So in future they have to even cope with more objects, with more different, they have to add more different grips, but they are on the right way.
And the right way now for coin. And those 4 blue pieces on the edge of the table It looks like he set them up because he'll use the same grip.
This is always interesting to see when the users rotate the wrist. They can do that even more than with a natural hand.
1:43 on the clock. So he's a minute now off his own leading time, and he's only got 3 left to go. Credit card is next. As if you were placing the card into a cash or ATM machine, it's got to go right into position, as if this were an everyday activity. Back to the table once again. Key will be the penultimate into the lock, as if he was letting himself in through a front door. 2:12. He's right on track to better this time, and he's about to smash 2:45. Really putting the pressure on Magnus Niska, because this is Christophe Houchet at the Sorbonne University in Paris. Watch the clock. He has got the USB into position, and it is brilliant. 2 minutes 27. And there is the challenge for Niska. 2:27. Absolutely brilliant. Big improvement. And that is excellent, really.
Very nice control of the wrist.
Well, understandably, a huge round of applause from the Smart Arm team, lowering the target time for 2:27. One team left in the competition to potentially stop the Smart Arm team taking this arm prosthesis race, and that is E-Opera, who are here at ETH Zurich. And of course, the pilot for the E-Opera team is Magnus Niska. Now, Niska is ready here. Look at the concentration and focus on the Swedish pilot's face. He knows that he's got to perform to his absolute best. We've seen him do it on the global stage, twice third, 2020 and 2016 in this arm prosthesis race. Watch the clock, 8, 7, counting down before he's given the all clear. The target time set by Christophe Houchet is 2 minutes 27 seconds. Away he goes. Takes a grip on the corner of the box. A half turn, gently, carefully, slowly, and then a quick full turn. Takes the box out of the way, goes for the coin, credit card, and USB stick. 3 of the 8 pieces into position. Now 4 as he adds the key, adds the Lego brick. This is a completely different tactic, and the first time we've seen the operation go this way.
He needs a perfect run, and I think he's going for all or nothing, trying the new tactics.
It's taken him 40 seconds to get them into position, but look how quickly he's putting them away now.
Yes,
credit card is there.
He can grasp the object so smoothly. He can control the fingers, and he knows how much friction he has on the fingertips.
Coin into the slot or into the piggy bank, whatever you want to call it. But I'm liking this very much, Roland, because he's got 110, and this will take him to the halfway point. USB stick into place. Everything's possible here. This competition is wide open. 2:27 is the target. Now the key.
This one is in front.
Surely here, Magnus Niska is ahead of Christophe Houchet. But here comes the dreaded for many Lego brick. He dropped it in his first heat, and he's dropped it again, but he's kept it on the table.
Yes, moving them from the one table to the other table is also tricky, because he has to hold the position.
Oh, it's nearly gone! Superb concentration to keep that brick into position. A little press, and he's there. 1:58 is on the clock. The marble and the keyring are the last 2 pieces here. 2:04, 2:05. He needs success. He needs to be quick with this marble, and Christophe Houchet may lose the lead. Niska has a grip of the marble, looks to put it into position.
Very well done, and now let's have a look at his force. Very well done.
2:20, 7 seconds to put the keyring on. This will go right to the wire. 24, 25, 26. He's got the keyring down. Oh! He's missed it by 2 seconds. Magnus Niska, 2 minutes 29. Missing out by just 2 seconds. Can you believe that? A brilliant performance. The Smart Arm team cannot believe it. They have just held off Ex-Opera by 2 seconds. What a fantastic finale. What a great performance from Magnus Niska. But it is the Smart Arm team in Paris that have won the arm prosthesis race at CYBATHLON Challenge 2022. Roland, talk us through this. It was a different approach, a different tactic to that we had seen from the 4 previous teams. And he missed the win by 2 seconds.
Yeah, I think he lost the time at the Lego brick again. So this will be something they have to work on in the future. It's so lightweight and he has to be sure about the friction in his fingertips to let it go. But this was so close.
Spectacular race. Let's get the confirmation of the results. Magnus Niska missing top position by 2 seconds. And congratulations to the Smart Arm team who achieved a fantastic time of 2 minutes 27 in Heat 2 to win the arm prosthesis race. Runner-up Magnus Niska and E-Opera with 2 minutes 29. And Yayat Supriyatna and Carla Bionics in third position, 2 minutes 54. That was exciting, Roland. That was very close. That is exactly what CYBATHLON is all about.
Exactly, and we have seen a lot of different solutions for the individual users, and this is what we want to have at CYBATHLON. Adapt the technology for the people that are using the devices in the end in daily life, that they can solve the tasks of daily life easily.
Let's go to the Sorbonne University in Paris and hopefully have a quick chat with our winning team. Christophe, congratulations. What a spectacular second heat time. Tell us a little bit about the tactic, the game plan, because once again, you were able to increase the speed from Heat 1 to Heat 2 to win the competition.
Yes, I was with a great motivation, and I saw that the competition was very serré, tight, very tight, because they are very good teams, and that was a great motivation to go faster. Yeah.
And Christophe, be honest with us, were you a little bit nervous watching Magnus Niska's run? It was so close.
Of course, it's a great race. He did a great race, and it's a very, very good technique and very fast for taking object. And yes, it is dangerous.
And Christophe and the Smart Arm team, one final question. We're on the road to CYBATHLON 2024. What will you be doing to get a little bit faster for our next global edition?
Yeah, you must know that during my life, I don't wear prosthesis, and I just wear it when I practice in Sorbonne University. So I must wear it more and more to be more used, yes, and more training. And we have more than 2 years for training, and I promise you, we will be ready a better score for the CYBATHLON in Zurich.
Well, congratulations, Christophe. Congratulations to the Smart Arm team. That device is a real piece of smart technology. And congratulations to all 5 of the teams in contention today. It was a brilliant competition and clearly demonstrating that CYBATHLON challenges for 2022 have been a real success. Thank you very much, guys. Now, let's turn our attention to Roland here in the commentary box after a spectacular performance. Some very different tactics, some very different game plans, but everybody's learning. And of course, those who are planning to compete, who are watching and learning, makes today a very special day. As the head of the CYBATHLON project, you must be delighted with 5 teams in competition, and we still have 2 years of preparation to go.
Yeah, it was already great to see today the solutions they have for the one task we selected. They need to come up with other solutions for the other 9 tasks, but I think the road to 2024 is launched and the pressure is on the teams.
And of course, the challenges continue. Tomorrow we have our wheelchair competition, which promises to be equally as exciting, equally as challenging. Are you looking forward to the wheelchair race tomorrow, Roland?
Of course, the wheelchair race is always exciting, and we have there the unbeaten team against a very smart team for Winterthur, so we will see who will win this competition.
And on behalf of all of the CYBATHLON team, I hope you've enjoyed it as much as we have. Many thanks for your company, and until tomorrow, it's goodbye for now.
Tomorrow at CYBATHLON Challenges, the wheelchair race. Climbing stairs in a wheelchair? Watch the fastest, most skillful pilots in our live stream on CYBATHLON.com. The competition action starts at noon Central European Time. Don't miss this very special race.